Hi everyone, so I want to introduce you to the Stone Alpha dashboard. The dashboard is currently in beta, so it is free. The pricing is over here, but everything you will see is free. So as you navigate around the page, you're going to get a feel for what it's all about. I hope you can support the build and buy me a coffee because it keeps me motivated, keeps me putting more time into this, and it is going to be incredibly valuable to everyone who's viewing this. So the two key personas that this is for anyone who's a retail investor looking for long-term investments, not too concerned about the price today or tomorrow. They're really in it to look at the price every sort of month or two and just get a feel for good deals out there. And the second persona is those who want to understand where the large money is. These could be researchers, policy researchers, maybe family offices, CTAs, those who just want to get a feel for what the large multi-billion-dollar hedge funds and asset managers, what they are doing and where they're positioned. And we get this information from the CFTC report, so this, the Commodity Futures Trading Commission reports. And this organization, you could do the research yourself, but they're somewhat like the Fed in the USA, the presidentially commissioned. So it's a very impactful organization. Although their reports not deemed impactful, they're out there on the market. It is a very key piece of information because you could understand from their reports market fragility. So you could see, for example, here with the US with the New Zealand dollar future, so this will be a future, you could see there's a squeeze score here of 97. So there is a lot of pressure. Imagine a pressure cooker just full of this pressure and it needs to explode. I'm guessing this is now coming off. I haven't got the price chart in front of me, but I'm guessing the New Zealand dollar has now been coming off because this data is still about a week old. It will always be that case because of the way the CFTC work in terms of hedge funds, asset managers, and dealers. They have to report every Tuesdays, and the CFTC release the information on Fridays. So anyway, you could go in this and you could get an understanding of where, like for example, if I was to click here on the equity index and see where all the hedge funds are positioned in these particular equities, we could click on, say, the popular one, the E-mini S&P, and then you could see a breakdown of what their actual exposures are relative to the notional out there. So they are currently still 21% short, net short on 160 billion worth of notional out there. So it's a big position, and the short squeeze is explained here in terms of why it's scored at an 88. And I could go into more detail at another time, but this is just an quick introduction to the dashboard. So you've got all CFTC data here now structured. This has been a problem for many people who have had to resort to using Bloomberg and terminals like that just to get this information, or obviously amongst hundreds of thousands of other data points. But this is just that little bit of help. And what's good about this is that you could also see crypto exposures as well. So Bitcoin future exposures as well. Now look at this. The Bitcoin short position is getting built up slowly. Can you see this? So there is some pressure building up, although on a notional basis is kind of elevated, coming into the elevated territory. So we could see that Bitcoin explodes into maybe 80s. I'm not sure where it's at right now, actually. I'm not sure where it's, but I'm guessing it's exploding or exploded, and it's going to come off because that short pressure has to be squeezed out, right? It will come off. This isn't the whole market, by the way. This is just the large trader market, okay? What else? If we go into the equities side here, we could see we have a high-level overview of the equities here. You could click into one of these, or you could search by ticker. But let's say I click into Microsoft only because that's caught my eye because it seems quite cheap here. What you could do is jump into that. You'll get an understanding of where. Now, by the way, a lot of work is still required here. I'm still working on this particular dashboard. Okay, so what we can see, what I'm going to be doing here is showing you a price earnings scenario modeler, whereby you could see the forward PE ratios as calculated by growth, by the way. This is calculated by growth, the growth factors. We're not using industry analysts or anything like that. We're taking the previous growth, we're applying it to the future, getting an indication of what that PE ratio is likely to look like. And then we can model it out here. So on a price earnings ratio of 19, we can see the price is unlikely to drop to this, is it? So what's the price right now? 419. And at 19 forward, we say it's at, okay, so basically more or less where it is right now, okay? But now, we know that it's traded as high as 33 in the past. We know that that's possible for Microsoft. So if we take this price up to kind of like anywhere close to that, we know there is a lot of scope for Microsoft to be coming up to those kind of numbers. Now, I understand, calm down, CFAs. I understand PE ratios are fragile. I understand that it's not the be all and end all, and you need to look at cash yield. So we're going to go into cash yield. I'm modeling this at the moment. And what the cash is really going to do, it's going to add a blocker to your PE ratios, because if cash isn't, there's only a certain amount of multiples on cash, history will show us. And if cash is not reflecting what the PE ratio should be, so the PE ratio will end up being blocked at a certain level. But we could even see here that eventually we'll get this in order as well. So this is kind of it still needs some work, right? But rest assured, the cash flow models are going to be done. And it's going to be incredibly powerful. For a retail grade user, you go into, I'll get earnings growth in here. The price to earnings growth in here. So how much you're paying for growth. We've got the P scenario modeler here. It's going to be brilliant. That's all you need to know. That gives you a good enough understanding of what the business is about. We'll have a business profile over here as well. And it will be a very good tool for you to use. And it is free right now. You're getting an incredible amount of value for something that's free, because for things like this, for where you're interactive in the tool, they usually charge anything up to $100 a month. But there are some tools out there that at $10 a month, it's just how much you want out of your work. The other thing I like, I'm not sure if I've got this live. I haven't got this live just yet. Let me see if I can put this part. I can't remember what the password is here. Just one moment. I think that's the password. No, I've lost the password on this, but I'll get it back and I'll show you. This is a brilliant area, by the way, because it tells you about the future. Can you see, look, this is another angle to that, but it tells you about things like we're going to have organoid intelligence, biotech, and human enhancement, everything where the world is in the next 5 to 10 years, all those stocks, space, quantum, we're going to have all of that in here. And it's going to, look, if we look at the space world, it gives you 4 instruments for the critical materials required for that industry. So we know if SpaceX takes off, we have some instruments over here that are going to take off as well, right? So this is a really exciting portal. And I encourage you all to just try motivate me a bit to keep going on this. This isn't the only thing I do, but the more interest I see building up in this, the more I'm going to put effort I'm going to put into this. And anyone who supports the build at this moment, your names are going to be sidelined. And when it comes to pricing, there'll be special discounts for you for supporting at this stage. I am still going through this. We got that. Regulatory horizon, this is something for me personally, actually, because my background is management consultancy. I specialize in regulatory transformations. So this is something where it's more of an advert for my own services here and what I do and how I'm going to help organizations plan for their future as regulation gets stronger in certain jurisdictions and lighter in other jurisdictions. There'll be an AI report that comprises everything together and just gives you a general daily take on what's happening in the world. This macro indicator is still underway. I'm still figuring out where the value proposition is in this, but it's something that I just put in there anyway because it's something I need to work on. Now, on the equity side, as I've mentioned, you have got the price modeler, something we're going to be working on, and then we also have here signals. Right, signals is something. Again, this is now if you're a little bit of a trader, if you like to work on short-termism more than investment, long-term horizon. I really like this because trading is based on volume, right? You have to understand the volume profiles, and then you have to understand the deviation from averages, and this gives you that. This will tell you, for example, so AMAT and gold has had volume of 1.5 times its 2-day average or 50-day average, and we could say, okay, let's see what. So gold has had a huge volume spike over the last 50-day average. But if I take it down a bit, let's elevate it a bit. 1.25 over 20 days. We can see, look, Microsoft interest is building up, right? If we click into Microsoft, it then gives us the deviations from those means. And, so you can see Microsoft price is here. The 200-day moving average is here. So we are below that and we're just kind of bouncing around. So again, very, very useful information here. Go back to market overview. You could click straight to the price modeler. This is a bit ugly at the moment, the generate PDF report, but you could go in there and just, it's going to eventually be a pick and mix. So you'll have all your selection boxes there and you generate PDF report and you'll have a summary for the day to take in front of your team and say, hey, here's everything. Here's what we're looking at. Here's what we're not. Here's the volume anomalies and all that for the price of a coffee. And of course, when we go live, you're going to have some preferential rates, okay? So thank you very much for watching this far. In fact, just for the thumbnail for this YouTube channel, let's do one live. Let's just find something live. We've done Microsoft. Let's go into, sorry, my mouse is a bit funny at the moment. Let's just go down this list and see what else we've got. Remember, I'm not IBM. Look at this, right? How beautiful is that? IBM at 221, right? So I've got to get this cash thing right. I'm looking to, okay. So we'll get the cash thing right. Where's IBM? 1019, historic high of that. Implied price, something's off here. I need to get this right. So if we take an implied price above the average, oh no, yeah, it's correct. I beg your pardon. This is correct. So IBM right now at kind of modeling at 220, which we know. We take it to its average, let's say 16. IBM is significantly undervalued right now. So even on their weaker earnings, right? Let's look at their earnings. So earnings have dropped. I'm not sure when they announced. I'd need to check this, and there's some anomalies in the data. But IBM's looking very... So, hey, the thumbnail for this is that IBM is worth looking at. The thumbnail here is that IBM might, it might plummet more, but it's a very, very good accumulation. So, hey, what else you're getting here, by the way, is a really, really good feature, if I could find it. I don't know where it's gone, but what it's going to tell you is it's going to map the ranges out to your limit orders and where you should be placing your orders, and then you go sleep at night and let it execute and just forget about it. So we're going to have that feature in here as well. All right. So I hope this has been of use. Please like, please subscribe. It helps you. It's going to bring more features to you as a viewer, and you're going to be able to develop this platform with me, and it becomes almost like your platform. So there'll be a community set up here as well. We'll be working on that, and so there's so much more to come, and I'm excited to have you as the audience. So thank you very much for watching, and stay in touch.